How's it going, everybody? And welcome back to another video here on the channel. So you can tell by the title, the thumbnail, I have this Lews American Hero Speed Spool bait casting reel. And this is a really great reel for the money, because it's definitely very budget friendly. I would say this is a very good beginner's bait casting reel. And when I was using it on that homemade lure 1 hour fishing challenge that's on my channel, if you haven't seen that video, go check it out. It's a lot of fun. Only had an hour and could only use the lures that I've either made or have painted. So it was a lot of fun. It was really cool. Didn't fish at that pond before, but it was a bit of a success, if I do say so myself, in my opinion. But when I was using it, and I've noticed this before, it makes a grinding sound. If you on some of the flips, it was making a grinding sound. I can probably replicate it. If I turn the handle really fast, it'll do it. And I'm not sure if it's something slipping or the drag, but and I don't want to do it too often, so I'm just going to do it this once. But check this out. Oh. So there it did it there. So there's something grinding in there, so I'm going to take it apart. I'm going to service it. We'll see what's going on. If anything else, it's just going to get a good cleaning, because I'm not sure when it's the last time I stripped this down and serviced it. I was going to do all this in the winter time, but I guess we are going to go ahead and do this one right now. Alright, and my best advice for when you're stripping a reel down is have a very contrasting color, so mainly white, when you're taking things apart, and then I like to lay them out in the order they come off, and on which side they come off. That way when I'm putting it back together, I know exactly how everything is supposed to go. And you can strip these down with some pretty basic tools. And if it's your first time doing it, try to find a video out there for your specific reel, or try to find a schematics for your reel. If nothing else, go ahead and take pictures while you go along, with your phone or something, and that'll help you out a lot. So that's looking good in there. It's not really dirty. I do tend to take a good care of my stuff. See how this looks? It's a little kind of gunky where that bearing's at. Over on this side looks fine. And then I'm actually just going to wind my line up. And so that it doesn't get in the way, I'm going to take a piece of tape and just tape it off. And that way my line is not going to get in the way. This probably just needs a new line on it anyway, let's be honest. But it's all taped up, that's out of the way. I'm putting it, literally, I'm putting this in the exact same order that it would go in. And on this side of how I'm taking it apart. Let's look at the worm gear. Is not too bad. It's fairly clean in there, a little bit gunky. And then that's not bad either in here, how you click your button. So now we'll go to the other side. I'm just going to take the cast or the spool tension knob off right away. And sometimes you gotta be careful, sometimes there's stuff in there. That doesn't look bad. Like I said, I tend to keep my stuff in good working order. And we're just going to do a flathead for that one. This is a flathead or a Phillips, so spool tension knob, I'm going to put that screw near it, and I got a contrasting color. You can see it pretty good. Alright, so you got that screw off, and then this cap is just going to come off. I'm going to put it like literally right next to it. Then you have a nut, I believe that's a 10. Look at that, it's a 10. I don't keep those too awfully snug. Nut. Take that off, and this usually has a piece that goes with it. Just make sure that is all together. Handle, piece. I'm gonna put that piece face down so I know this surface and this surface meet up. At least that makes sense to me. Then I'm going to go ahead and take that drag star off, just like so. That's okay in there. There's a little bit of gunk in there, but put that in there. And then it goes this washer piece followed by those two washer pieces followed by this sleeve. Alright. And that side is mostly broken down. And then you just got to undo all these screws. Alright, so those screws are out and this cover is going to come off. I like to hold it this way. That way everything should stay where it should be. And that looks fine in there. There's some old grease and stuff, but other than that, it looks pretty clean. And then I have these screws right here oriented in the way that they go on this side plate. So there's the two top screws in literally that order, and then there's the two side screws or the two bottom screws literally in the order they need to be. But I am just looking in here and seeing if that grinding can be explained in any way, or if there is any damage that I can see. The reel is a little on the dry side, and what I mean by that is like there's not like a ton of grease going on or anything like that. But other than that, like the gears, there's two springs right here. Those are loose. So that's why I'm holding, it's another reason why I'm holding it up. Just so nothing, and you can literally set it down. Just so nothing is coming off. Everything is where it's going to stay. Alright, let me take that off though. That looks good. Gonna set this aside so it can get cleaned up. But I'm gonna take a look through it and then I'll be showing y'all how I like to oil and grease my reels. Alright, so got this all apart, and you can see by my little paper towel. Typically I have an old toothbrush and like Q-tips, but I do not have any right now, so this paper towel has been working just fine. And nothing was too dirty. But I'm going to show you, I'm going to go ahead and show a couple of things. So first, when going around, there was this piece of gunk in the reel that was like, this is like in the reel, stuck in there, and it's like had grease on it. I'm not exactly sure what it is, but then also one thing wrong is the drag washer in here is actually fused to this gear. So that is another issue. And then it looks like, well, one, aside from this blue drag washer being fused, there's just like a little bit of wear right there. You can see where it's discolored, but other than that, like, all the teeth look good. They're not like grinded out or anything, but I'm just going to show you guys how where I put oil, where I put grease. And I like this pen oil and grease. It's worked really well for me. It comes with like this applicator brush, but I like really don't use that. It's kind of a POS. We'll throw my old rag away, grab a new one. And what I did is, to clean some of the gunk and stuff out, I just took some rem oil and I just sprayed it through. It's not gonna hurt anything. It doesn't hurt having a little extra oil in your reel, but most of it gets cleaned off anyway. So I just got some grease on my fingers and we're just gonna go around and really grease everything up. I'm gonna get everything. I'm gonna get it real greased up. This applicator brush, the only time it does come in handy is like getting right in there, since I didn't strip this all the way down. Getting in and doing this in here. And then I'm actually gonna take some of this pen oil. And I'm gonna put it on this washer and just order a new washer. I actually want to do upgrades to this reel. This, you know, it's a very budget reel. They don't retail for that much. I think they're like maybe $50. But it's the first bait casting reel that I ever got, so. And my partner got it for me, so there's a lot of sentimental value there, and I want to do some upgrades to it. So that'll be a video here probably in the next year or so, but just continuing to put grease. Alright, I'm going to put this pinion gear back in. Oh. We put that pinion gear back in. The fat side goes down. And then those little springs that we had will go on top like that. But hopefully, I'll mop up a little of that oil, but hopefully that can get us loosened up a little bit. Yeah, but I'm literally just packing this thing full of grease, and you don't need to. I definitely actually don't really recommend too much, but like a less is more approach. But I just kind of want to see what it does, if it's gonna stop that, grinding. And then I'm going to come over here and I'm going to oil my bearings. So I just like to add a little oil there, add some oil in here, to the other side. Then I'm going to take some oil and put it in there. To that bearing in there. And I have the top washer that's going to go onto there. Put a little oil on that. Again, I'm just kind of curious, like what this will all do. And I have my worm gear here. And this pin goes in like so. We're in. Take some grease and get that on the shaft. I'm going to take some grease though and put it in this worm gear. Alright, then we put the side cover back on, and it's just a matter of, hey, like, how do I need to put this back together? So it's literally just a matter of reverse order. So I went ahead and put that sleeve back on that goes down in there. And that's good. Screw these back in for the side plate. And the biggest thing is don't over tighten anything. Just all you need is it to be snug. And on top of it all, you don't want to risk stripping out screws, because that would just be a headache. right. And then we're going to come over and where your button is, let's go ahead, add a drop in there. Work it around a little bit. Alright. And then we're going to put our spool tension nut back on. Alright, and now just reverse order with everything. So these two washers, and this collar, or another washer, and then this drag star, make sure we're not cross-threading it. Wow, this does not want to go on that great. Okay, and then this piece, and the handle, and then that nut's gonna go on. And not too tight, just get nice snug. And then that cap is going to go on, and with this you got to make sure that cap kind of lines up with that screw hole on the handle. And I want to show you one place that I feel like a lot of people neglect to pop open and oil, and that's the handle. So I'm going to just pop these caps off real quick. Oh, come on. And we're going to put just a drop of oil in them. And it's going to spin them around. And you would be surprised like what a difference that makes. I'm going to do an extra one for this extra drop. And just push those caps back on. Gotta put our spool on, put some oil on that, put some oil on there. That just pops right back in, and then this is just gonna slide on. I'm not a big fan of that design right there. Uh-oh. Something's happening to where our reel isn't engaging. So, something must have got loose a little bit. Alright. We're up and going again. I was being an idiot. I did not put the yoke in right. And so it wasn't catching. But the reel is working. Everything seems to be working well. And so what I'm going to do is see if I can crank down like I did and get the same thing to happen. Oh, never mind. Not as bad. It took like a little more to get it done, but we do know that the drag is fused to the drive. And so what we are going to go ahead and do is we'll just order a new one and we'll be good to go. We'll just make like a whole series out of this because this is going to get some upgrades, which I'm pretty excited about. But anyway, thanks so much for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed, and I will see you for the next one.